It's Friday, January 13, 2017, and I'm pleased to bring you today's edition of the local news. In the news, Caribbean Community Climate Change Center visits Suriname. Students again fall victim to the conflict between unions and the government. Business community signed Declaration of Paramaribo. I'm Susan Maynard, and your local news begins now. In Suriname, there is also a working combat climate change. The Caribbean Community Climate Change Center 5C was on a working visit in Suriname to identify what sustainable projects have already been initiated, but also where help is needed. It will be provided, said Marak Bainu, Assistant Executive Director of 5C. When it comes to having regional climate change, Suriname and Guyana have the same problems. Spring tide in the coastal plain with land loss, extreme temperature, drought, and heavy rain. Currently, they will be working on an inventory to sustainably reduce climate change.
We made mention of the fact that we had a visit to the site that Professor Naipal is working through CI with on the coastal rehabilitation and coastal stabilization and mangrove rehabilitation project. That seems to be an area where we can move fairly quickly on as well. So there are a number of initiatives which we will work out a country program with Suriname, and as Ted indicated, one of the things we'll be looking for would be the kind of commitment from government of Suriname to indicate that they are fully engaged and want to partner with us. Let me just say here and now, whatever we do in Suriname, we'll have to have the sign-off of the government because it would have to be seen as a priority for the government. We don't want to parachute into the country and do something that is not seen as priority.
For the coordinator of the Department of Environmental Policy of the Office of the President, Nathalie Plet, various NGOs and institutions are working on sustainably reducing the impact of climate change. At government level, some steps have already been taken. The adaptation of the environmental bill and the technical assistance from the Caribbean Community Climate Center. Members of the National Students Association, LSSB, held a press conference yesterday morning regarding the strikes of the teachers' unions BVL and ALS. Edgar Sampi, chairman of the LSSB, doesn't disapprove the method of the strike, but argues that it's the pupils or students who again bear the brunt. LSSB will now make its voice heard. It seems that those who enjoy education again fall victims to misunderstanding between the government and the unions and not always adhering to agreements. Members of the LSSB call on union leaders to take things into consideration by applying a certain strategy. This allows pupils and students to visit the schools to 11 o'clock. Then the teachers can leave to go on strike. Thus, the learning process cannot be compromised. They also call on the government to actually adhere to agreements and communicate at all times to prevent misunderstandings. Business community in Suriname signed the Declaration of Paramaribo yesterday. This declaration serves as an anchor to prevent discrimination and exclusion of groups, especially lesbians, gays, bisexual, and transgenders, LGBT community. The declaration included steps with the ultimate aim to provide the LGBT workers with the same rights as their heterosexual colleagues. It is derived from the Declaration of Amsterdam with some Surinamese adjustments, says Juan Pichot, chairman of Parea Suriname, the Association of Gay Professionals. Important in the declaration is the preamble that includes the legal framework. The declaration is one of the results of the Workplace Pride Conference held on June 9, 2016. Companies that participated in this conference collaborated on this declaration. Having a declaration of Paramaribo is not only of interest for the LGBT community, but it will also benefit the healthy work atmosphere of the business community as well. Yesterday, representatives of 16 companies have signed the declaration. Umbrella bodies and individuals also placed their signature. Companies that have not yet signed are still given the opportunity to do that. It is not only an act of individuals, but the whole company should stand behind it. The Declaration of Paramaribo has been made public. That concludes our local news for today. Have a good weekend. Thank you for joining us. Good day.